What's going on, guys? Welcome to another video. Thank you for tuning in to these Resident Evil campaign or Resident Evil 6 campaign critiques. I am going to be talking about the Jake and Sherry campaign in this one. Things I liked about it, things I didn't like about it, and points I would like to just establish that would have made the campaign a lot better. Now, the first thing I would like to say is this campaign is way too big in scope. For one, it's got them being in Sidonia, and then they're getting chased by the Ustanok in the cold, and the helicopters, then they crash in the cold, and then they're brought to China, and then, they go on the ground, and it's just way too big in scope. As I've said in the Leon campaign, as I've said in the Chris campaign, this campaign would have worked a lot better if just been in one city with the rest of the campaign, just a different section. It would have been golden. It would have worked out a lot better. Especially when it came to them going into the underground facility, which would have worked a lot better had it been underground, under the city, because it would have worked better with Chris's campaign. But the first thing is the story is just way too big in scope, and because of that, there's literally no exploration or time to get to check out the open world. And the reason why I'm pointing this out is because this campaign actually is closer to the story of Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, where Jill is trying to escape the city, and the entire time she's being chased by Nemesis. Now, the Ustanok was literally, again, one of the best Resident Evil creatures that's ever come out in the entire series. The creature is just awesome, has a lot of great capabilities, is smart, ruthless, and cunning, and just a powerhouse. And I like the cat and mouse game where he kept showing up trying to just kidnap these two or trying to kill these two, depending on what mission you were doing. But it was nice to see that creature, which is a constant threat. One of the best things about it, and again, is the cat and mouse campaign of the Resident Evil 6 that does go back to the whole Resident Evil 3 narrative, which I liked a lot. But like with the way the campaign is, like what is one of the missions again where he's chasing you in a helicopter, he's holding onto a helicopter with a minigun trying to shoot you down. I'm like, that's way too over the top. Now, the one thing that was pretty awesome was the bit where you're in the cave with the ice and stuff, and then you're hiding from him, and he can't catch you because if he catches, game over. That right there was awesome. That's what they should have stuck with the entire game. But again, like I said, the scope just being way too big, and because of it, it just killed off any world exploration or anything in that sense. Also, again, it should be a hell of a lot less action, more stealth and survival. Would have worked out a hell of a lot better. One of the biggest moments in this game that just feels just over the top, beyond. It feels like an anime at this point. Is the motorcycle part where Jake and Sherry are trying to outrun these helicopters, and Lord, it went just straight up anime with it. It just over the top. It was crazy. Like you couldn't even. It was so fast that you don't even see what's coming. And I wish that they hadn't have done that, because it was like, good God. And it goes back to the whole QTE thing. It just did not work. Too many QTEs at certain points, and that was definitely one of them. And it just sucked. Now, I like the fact that Jake does take on some abilities of his father, and it's mostly his physical prowess. So he can fight with his hands. He's really powerful with that. But one thing I didn't like, it was the Sherry part, where Sherry is infected with the T virus or the G virus, but it doesn't mutate her. What it does is she can regenerate. She can heal faster. Because there's one part where she gets a piece of shrapnel stuck in her, and then Jake takes it out and he watches her heal. But I'm like, why didn't they just utilize that in the game? Like, in game, she should be able to regenerate over time. And I'm like, how you going to introduce an important plot point like that, but don't even utilize it in game? That was literally one of the dumbest things they did with this campaign. And it would have made a lot more sense in that regard. And even with Jake, it would have been nice to see him have a bit more ability like his father. Maybe have enhanced. I mean, like I said, he can fight, but maybe have him have super speed charge or something like that. Because his father had super speed. He had super strength. Maybe they should have implemented that a little bit more with the combos and stuff and with the character. So that way you can get more a bit of a Wesker feel for the character. Even though they did a great job with the character. Also, I did like how their relationship did build. So, and I think out of all of the people in the game, I think their relationship feels the more plausible. I did like Helena and I did like Leon's because it grew over time. And I did like Pierce and Chris's, but I think Sherry here and Jake had a better build up when it came to their relationship. But yeah, this should have been a hell of a lot less survival. I mean, there's like 2 parts where you have to fight like a tank. And I'm like, really? I'm like, shouldn't that have been something you fought with Chris campaign? And then you're fighting Huevo. And at this point, I wish that this is the part where I'm like, the Huevo were a bad choice to input into this campaign, at least to a certain extent. Sure, the Usanok is trying to hunt you down, and he has the Huevo trying to do it too. So I'm like, okay, I'm not on the fence about that. That works. But for some of the certain parts, like the part where you're trying to escape out that facility, and then you have to fight all these Huevo, and then the tanks come rolling in and stuff like that. All of that was just way too much. Now, I did like the twist when it came to Sherry, who's connected with Simmons, but I wish that it would have been a bit more to that. Like maybe Simmons gave us a lot more backstory. Yes, they do give us some backstory, but I mean a lot more backstory to that, so we can actually see the relationship between these two growing over the years, and a bit more what both Jake and her have been going through over the years too. So it would have been a lot better to actually kind of focus on that. I did like the revelation that he learns that he is the son of bioterrorist Albert Wesker. So I did like how that kind of impacted him too. And like the other campaigns, one of the biggest problems is the weapons. Way too many weapons, way too much ammo. Half the weapons, half the ammo. 1/3 the weapons, 1/3 the ammo, and you would have a better game, especially when it came to those very tense moments where you're trying to fight the Ustanok, and it's like it would have been nice to have a bunch of weapons, yes, but it's better on every level if you just had it would make the fights more tense. But overall, it could have been a better campaign, but those just my general thoughts on it though. There could have been a lot more they could have did with it, especially with the big scope. Before all the campaigns, too big a scope. It was way too big a scope. Should have been focused on one city. Should have been this whole cat and mouse between them trying to find out who's responsible for this virus or trying to escape with their lives, as well as trying to get away from the Ustanok. Would have been a hell of a lot better. They should have been able to fight the zombies on some parts. They should have been able to fight the the wave on others. But again, those are just my general thoughts. In the comment section below, guys, let me know what are your thoughts about what I've just said, about my points about the Jake campaign. Let me know some things that you did like. Let me know the things that you didn't like and things I didn't even point out. Also, be sure to hit that like, share, subscribe, and notification button to get the best of what's going on here on the NarikChase channel. And guys, NarikChase, see y'all later. Catch you on the next video.